Looks like we're dropping the pretense of looking at mushrooms. So, you have a brother out there somewhere? Julian. He's gonna come find me in the morning after the work is done. Yep, we work pretty hard. I used to spend part of each night looking for my folks, but now I pretty much just work. But maybe that'll change now. I have some new friends. Do you have a family? I left home when I was very young. Not much older than you, actually. I bounced around jobs and shelters. Finally found my way down to the Echo River. Never looked back. I've basically been on my own since then. Well, that's not really true. Just about everyone who sets foot aboard the Mucky Mammoths feels like family to me now. I guess if nobody's family, then everybody's family. What's this island for? It looks like somebody made it on purpose. Oh, right. It's kind of a nice, simple shape. Pleasantly minimal. Island geometry. Months later, she came across a book on homeopathic medicine in a used bookstore and bought it. She thought it was mostly bullshit, but found the author's notes on the unpredictability of mushrooms immediately compelling, spiritual even. She started collecting mushrooms on hikes, never eating them, just collecting, identifying, and discarding. Eventually, she connected with the Lexington Mycological Society and began to study in earnest the medicinal uses of fungi. I'm sure it could be natural, though, I mean, I don't know if the island itself is man-made or not, but I guess I don't know much about this place, really. It's supposed to be some kind of memorial to something? Will would know more. Sorry, it's a mystery. It's a mystery! I'll search for clues. She put out her cigarette, said goodbye to the hot dog vendor, and spent the rest of the afternoon listening to doctors, trying to understand the world as they did, as a list of discrete injuries to be mended. Ezra examines a large stone monument. The monument's covered with lichen and painted text. Ezra reads the text. Rock graffiti. X and O forever. Ezra investigates a cypress tree. That background sound, it sounds like almost like a cross between a sawhorse and a crying baby. Wait, is it a boat covered in cats? That's what it is? Just too many fucking cats. The tree smells spicy, oily. Ezra looks up into the branches. Some of the branches have been trimmed recently. Ezra inspects the contents of his pockets. Alright, what have you got? That stone-faced monument has X and O forever painted on it. Interesting. What do you think that means? Hugs and kisses forever? Or they could be initials. Xavier and Olivia forever. Xerxes and Oliver? What do you think that monument's for? I'm not sure anyone remembers. What a bizarre visual crossed with a kind of terrifying sound. The branches in the tree are trimmed. Oh, good observation. So I guess somebody's still taking care of this place. Or just practicing their tree trimming somewhere out of the way. Well, Ezra, I can't say I know what that all adds up to. Like I said, I wish Will were here. He'd have some local history for us. We can ask him back on the boat. Kate and Ezra look up at an old battleship drifting by. Oh, there it is. The Iron Pariah. Don't worry, it's just passing by. I don't know much about it firsthand, but I've heard things. Supposedly there's nobody even aboard. No people, I mean. I mean, there must be something on there. Life is everywhere. Rats, insects, some kind of hardy mold. I guess they can't see the cats. Part of it could be flooded and host some of the eyeless fish that live in the echo. Hey, maybe there are some mushrooms growing in there, slowly consuming military rations from over 100 years ago. Ezra's parents shook him awake. They seemed alarmed, but not immediately concerned. They led him back to the house, past the house, into the car. Dad said they were going to stay at the bus station for a while. The one with a little arcade, with the car game he liked. Dad watched him closely in the rearview mirror, expecting Ezra to be excited, or confused, or scared. But he didn't really feel anything. He hardly seemed to hear. In fact, he felt like he was observing the family car from a distance, from far above, from the clouds. Someone told me she got close to it by accident and heard a strange wailing sound. She was a passenger on the Mammoth. She said she'd been out fishing on a rowboat and got swept up by the current near the cluttered place. Before she knew it, the Iron Pariah was upon her, unimaginably massive, up close, but eerily silent. The only sounds, she said, were the lapping of the lake water against its iron hull, and a faint sound of, well, she said a chorus of mews. I'll be damned if I know what that sounds like. I've never gotten close enough to the ship myself. More mysteries. They do pile up over time, as people forget the details. I'm surprised the sound doesn't carry. Sound carries a lot over water, and it echoes in caves. Thanks for taking me mushroom picking. Mushroom hunting. You can pick apples, because they're right out there in the open. Mushrooms hide. You have to hunt for them. What a beautiful island. See that rough circle of rocky protrusions near the shore? It's more intricate than it looks. More than 2/3 of it is actually underwater. I haven't seen it myself, but listen to this. It's man-made, and the rocks weren't placed according to their size. So what's visible is more or less uniformly random selection of the overall shape. It looks like it might be spiral, all told. Or maybe some kind of meditative labyrinth. At the head of it is a petrified oak stump. That was moved here from the ground, of course, decades ago. That's where the ceremony took place. The Locklucks were married there. Many frail-tongued observers said they should just go with Lock or Luck, or split the difference with Look, or even Lick, or really anything else, but it was never going to happen. Marge, Luck, and Arrowlock met in prison. She was a volunteer teaching conflict meditation skills to guards, and he was employed at the side gate accepting deliveries and greeting visitors. Neither of them once saw a prisoner. Their engagement was welcome news for the family business, but looking for some opportunity to merge interests. The Locks ran a busy printing press, and the Lux managed a fleet of bicycle couriers. The natural next step was to start a local paper, who would become the Echo River Evening Record. The ceremony itself was humble and perfunctory, and it must have somehow involved these rocks. Maybe they walked around them in a spiral, like a symbol of their ever-tightening bond. And it must have also involved that petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumors persist that the officiant wore a robe. Shannon helped me fix up a mushroom stew in the kitchen. Did they have edible mushrooms? I'm looking for a cat. Add a few of these really big caps with the slimy gills. I wouldn't say slimy, moist. Blade in the video called for a portobello, but I'd prefer never to know a mushroom by name. That sounds dangerous. So is this a breakfast stew? It will be, but not today. This stew is for tomorrow. It has to simmer all day. Some things are just better done slowly. We've added the anonymous mushrooms, so next we, I've got the recipe video on pause next door. I used to follow a recipe I learned from Ida herself. The best cook you're gonna meet on this river. Of course, it had a few secret ingredients. She had the good sense to preserve some mystery around her cooking. Better for business. Ida's so shrewd, she swore me not only to secrecy, but to ignorance. I had to promise to forget the recipe just as soon as I'd cooked it. Let me tell you, it's not so easy to forget something on purpose as you may think, my friend. Not so easy. You'd forget it on purpose. You can check for the recipe in here. Crushed tomatoes, salsa, even a little ketchup. Here's the thing, nobody has to know. Throw in some more of that spice blend we threw together earlier. Stir it all up and crack a beer, baby. You'll be here for a while. What'd she just say to do? Will's trying to make the stew right now. What was the last step he did? He put a couple of mushrooms in. Then I think he forgot he was doing what he was doing for a little while. Maybe I can help him figure it out. I got kind of sucked into this program. Oh, right, the recorder. So you just been living with the bird in the woods while wearing a suit the whole time? How'd you even end up there? And even that wasn't enough to convince her. So I trained rigorously in the art of forgetting, studying for months under a master amnesiac. Finally, I learned to forget so quickly and accurately that I was able to convince Ida to share with me the most obscure secrets of her kitchen. As a demonstration of my trustworthiness, I forgot the names of my own parents, right there in front of her. Every time I wanted to cook this legendary stew, I'd call up Ida on the telephone and ask her for a quick temporary reminder. Here on the boat, we haven't got a phone line, so I have to seek out culinary wisdom on videotapes of the cooking shows. So back to the matter at hand. Next we, Did you already make the spice blend? Oh, it's you. I thought... Never mind. Hello. Well, I don't know that it qualifies as a spice blend, but I spilled the salt in some of Kate's herbal tea there. Hey there, can I ask you... Wait, why are you cooking? We're stopping at Sam and Ida's in 20 minutes. It's for tomorrow. Oh, well, just don't forget about it this time. We're not scrubbing up any more boiled over sludge. Sorry, listen, I have a favor to ask. There's a package for the telephone exchange, and I can't get the mammoth back there. Could you deliver it for us? That guy I met from the TV station, Dashiell Morse, works there now. I thought you might like to chat with him anyway. Thanks a lot. I've got the dinghy all ready to go. Maybe take your friend with you. One of you can man the outboard motor, and the other can aim the flashlight. It's dark. Seems like you go here regardless. Thanks again for your help. This is about as far as the tugboat can go. You know, noise and lights disturb the bats. So you'll pass through the bat sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for, cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Echo River Central Exchange, or, excuse me, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. They changed the name when the power company took over. Anyway, it's just on the other side of the bat sanctuary. The package is going to Poppy. She's an operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side of Sam and Ida's for a scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river, can't miss it. Oh, I almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in, just before the bat sanctuary. I always recommend people at least stop and take a look at it. It's really sort of... I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Okay, bye. We just go then? I guess so. I think it's just the two of us and Blue. At the memorial? I'm not totally sure how to control this. We claim these helmets in the names of the folks who wore them, and we place them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of that power company who bought up our old mine and traded our brothers and sisters' safety for a little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water. Their lungs were black, but now they're washed clean and full of water, too, and swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we never will find. And so we guess the water buried them for us. So let this be here, the marker for their grave. If any son of a bitch from that power company wants to take back these helmets as company property, just try it and see what will happen. Hey, Elkhorn. That's the mine we were in, where your folks, worked. Looks like it's been here a while. I sure as hell wouldn't mess with it. You think whoever wrote it is still that angry? I don't think you ever forget anger like that. No. I guess you probably don't. This probably stirs up. I mean, how do you... It's fine. I'm glad this is here. People should remember this happened. Well, here we are, remembering. And I didn't even know it the first time around. But here I am remembering it now. That's a fine memorial, I guess. That's terrifying. No, thank you. Oh. Company men. What? You're looking at me like I'm crazy. Are you feeling okay? Oh, sure. It doesn't hurt anymore, my leg. It's just kind of numb. Like it's not there. My shoulder too, actually. That's an old one though, from an accident. I'm lucky I just had some nerve damage there. It probably should have been a lot worse. You know, those guys from the distillery are just making the best of a bad situation. Just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier they could even help me take care of those medical bills for my leg, you know? Get it all together on a plan. Consolidated. That's a loaded word for this game. That sounds like a really bad idea. Oh, I don't know. They seem to have a lot of experience with this kind of stuff. They've got a whole process figured out. Anyway, I have a feeling it'll all work out. Even this delivery? Yeah, we're almost there, right? Hell, at this point I bet we could just take off the parking brake and that truck would roll into 5 Dogwood Drive by itself. Listen, that old truck I've been driving around belongs to my boss, Ira, Lysette's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like me very much, but somehow Liz got into his mind that... I got distracted by the skeletons coming by again. But somehow Liz got it into her mind that he would have wanted me to have that truck someday. Maybe to make up for all the yelling he did, or maybe so his ghost could hold it over me. Just one more thing to feel like I owed him for. Anyway, they got their own trucks at the distillery, and now the antique shop's closing up. I've got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could have it. I barely know you. Hell, I barely know anyone. It's not like I'm gonna give this truck to my damn brother or something. I don't even know how to get a hold of him these days. Well, just think about it anyway. You'd be doing me a favor, you know? One less thing to deal with. Visitors to the Echo River Kentuckiana Black Belt Artificial Hibernaculum and Sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign fungal contaminants and the spread of white nose syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you visited any cave known or suspected to host bats infected with white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry, headwear, and eyeglasses to ensure you don't bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any bats or structures. If you leave your vehicle, do so completely naked, basically. The Kentuckiana Black Belt is confused by light. If you are using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware that it may attract and confuse bats. If you are approached by bats, do not panic. Relax. Stop your vehicle and switch off your light. Never touch a bat. Oh boy. Look, we've got stakes now. How do I stop the vehicle? I'm not entirely sure. I guess I'm not controlling the vehicle, I'm controlling the light. Oh, the bat feeders. We kept foreshadowing those. The bats kept getting established all the time during those Route 0 sections. Ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk at extremely high frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of these ultrasonic clicks. By comparing very subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, the differences of just millionths of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, and so it needs to avoid running into anything. So bats keep clicking away, even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. It may be poor table manners, but it's crucial for surviving in the dark. I wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug. I think when they're actually communicating, it sounds more like singing. I'd like to hear that. It's such a cool visual. Oh, there's a lot more now. The Kentuckiana black bat's natural diet mostly consists of moths and other small insects that breed along the river. Here at the artificial Hibernaculum and Sanctuary, we use a combination of chemical snares and ultrasonic wards to repel all potentially contaminant-bearing insects, and replace them with our own locally bred and spawned hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths. Which we call the little gray nothing moth. You may be thinking that the other moths and insect the Kentuckiana black bat would have been eating are very much relieved that their natural predator has found another food source. Not so. We've installed netting and highly effective moth traps along the river where the Kentuckiana black bat normally hunts, to balance their escape from the food chain. But eating moths isn't the only systemic contribution these bats make. They also produce a potent fertilizer in the form of guano that helps plant life thrive along the Echo River, the shore of Lake Lethe. In order to minimize the sanctuary's impact on subterranean agriculture, we collect the precious guano here in the Hibernaculum and manually distribute it throughout the caves. It's a full-time job. Sounds like a lot of work. It's all fake, except for the bats. Yeah, I guess so. Reminds me of that guy Donald and his crew down there with the computer. It kind of bothers me. Like they're tricking the bats? Yeah. In this case, I think it's about survival. I mean, if that's the bottom line, what's the difference? Like the folks in the mine. You said they used to buy stuff, fans, canaries, all those little trinkets to make it bearable. There's still a lot of stuff down there. It feels cluttered, but human. I just mean, all people need is enough to pretend we're home, and we can make it anywhere. Sure, people can, but what about bats? Maybe we'll have to teach them. Hell, what am I saying? I know about 100% more on the subject of bats now than I did when we came down here.